Well, it's a good afternoon and welcome down here to Henson Park for the second of the Sydney AFL representative matches in the Sydney AFL Match of the Week. This will see the clash of Sydney AFL Open representative side this week against the VAFA, the Victorian Amateur Football Association, which should be a sensational clash. A little bit of a damp after we've had a week's worth of rain down here in Sydney, or up here in Sydney. And we'll just cross now and have a look at the teams. So first of all, with the Sydney AFL, you can see the lineups there and some a solid team that's being fielded by the Sydney side. Only probably a lack at the moment of a true full forward with no Withers coming into the team, a late exclusion, but some good players there. As you can see the captain in Richardson, you can see Donahue, the vice captain. It should be some interesting contests across that ground. Luffy coming into the team after a standout performance last year against the Canberra side. We'll roll over and have a look at the Victorian side, and look, a really standout side that they've delivered here. They've got a fair bit of talent across that ground, you could say, and they've got some good ex-AFL experience. So you've got Anthony Brown there, played with St Kilda, Anthony Pask with the Lions and the Dogs, Dan Roach with had some time in Collingwood, and Matthew Robbins with the Western Bulldogs. So a very well-rounded side. Lee Hendra will be the captain for the VAFA side. Shot there of the VAFA getting ready, and I'll just introduce into the commentary box once again this week Phil Bester.
Thanks, Dan, and good to see by the start of the game the rain has cleared. It's been raining nearly all morning in Sydney, but great to see that it has cleared up now, and should be a very interesting game. We saw New South Wales under-18s win yesterday against Victoria in an upset, so hopefully with the Victorian Amateur side being the favourites today, that New South Wales can cause another upset, hopefully for the supporters here at Henson Park in Sydney. As I said, the Victorian Amateur's got a very strong side with some ex-AFL players, recent AFL players, but should be a good contest. And
plenty of players in there that have stints in the VFL as well, so this will be an extremely tough challenge for the Sydney AFL side, but should be a good yardstick to see exactly where we start to position ourselves after some good contests against the Canberra side, and last year only going down on a very close margin. As we get ready for the first bounce of the day, and umpires for today is number 4, Sean Richardson from the Sydney AFL, number 5, Russell Davidson from the VAFA, and Damien Anderson, number 24, from the Sydney AFL also. And it'll be Russell Davidson that'll get us underway. We'll see Heater and Collett in the ruck. Throws the ball up. Not too much of a contest there. Collett tries to get away, can't. Gets a free kick.
No, he's been
Sorry, against him.
Red hot.
And that's picked up by Justin Arnold. So Justin Arnold delivers out wide, picks up Brown. Brown, stabbing kick inside 50, and
great work and whistle there.
Not quite for the VAFA. Bartlett there just manages to get it over the boundary line.
We see the Sydney AFL, good start for their defending day. They're going to need to be right on today against a very talented forward line.
Once again, rucks go at it. Heater, very talented ruckman from the VAFA, but it's Sydney that are away down the wing looking for Carey. Carey, good mark out in front. It's going to be a tough day. It's going to be a very slippery Sharon, I would dare to say. Good punch there coming from Roach. Back inside, just struggling at the moment to get it together, the VAFA, but good pressure being applied by Sydney. Good shepherd coming in from Watkins. That's a left foot snap.
That's a great goal.
And that there is Skews from the Campbelltown Football Club, and that's a great start for the Sydney AFL.
Great block there from Dwayne Watkins too. So one of the matchups in the middle, Anthony Brown against Luke Tajuru, and they're not standing anywhere near each other, so that might be the way they play, so both of them probably get plenty of touches.
Peter and Darling get away again. Tap there, try a bit of pressure here. Just managed to pick that up there, I think. Richardson at the bottom of the pack. And the umpy will come in and get us underway again with another throw up. Probably not too much bouncing going on today, I would say. So punch straight to the sideline there. Umpy hits the deck. And Darling gets a little bit of contention here. The free kick comes to Sydney.
Shane Ryan, I think.
Shane Ryan down in the back pocket. Lead comes from Watkins. Still might be used. No.
Shane Ryan's opponent is on the wing by himself, so he's just let him go.
Not the best of kicks there from Ryan, and that's a pretty easy mark there by Handley. Handley pushes across to the
Nice
far
kick.
pocket, and that's a good mark for the VAFA.
That's Matty Robbins, I think, looking
Matty
on us early.
Robbins.
The former Bulldog.
So Matty Robbins to line up for the first opportunity for the VAFA today, or the Ammos. So calculated, comes in with the approach. Right foot, looking good, just pushed to the left. Umpire didn't have to move far. I dare say there wasn't much in it. So first score to the VAFA, and it's Sydney AFL with the lead. 1 goal straight to 1 point the VAFA.
Another match-up, end whistle picking up Marty Pass, so a big job there for Sydney's fill end whistle.
Donahue with the kick out. Good punch there coming from Hendra, but gather from Watkins, having plenty to do with it early. Pushing there through is Coop, the vice captain today. And there's a recovery there, and Frangiacomo gets the clearance. So just a little bit of feeling out at the moment, Phil.
Yeah, it's both sides just feeling each other out. There's not too much physicalness yet, which I thought there might be a bit early.
Clearance comes from Hendra, just grubbers it along the side, push back inside, which was nice work, but Sydney to the advantage. Still a little bit scrappy. Free kick comes the way of the Vics. And that was Arnold with a good pressure being applied there by Donahue. Just manages to get over the sideline. There comes a little bit of the feeling out period. So Donahue playing on Arnold. 22s go at it again. Getting plenty of work early. Collett, just gets taken there. Bartlett with the clearance back inside, and Carey doing well at the moment, finding some room. Nice grab out in front. Dangerous kick here, looking for Ryan again. Scanlon does a good job. Disposal coming from Pask, ex-Bulldogs player and Lions. Good little delivery back for Scanlon, can't quite get the clearance. Good smother there from Ryan. Sydney trying to do their best through Collett, but it's only to the advantage of the Vics. It's short little pass, but it's going to come to nothing. And that will be another boundary throw-in.
Yeah, very scrappy at the moment, Dan, both sides. Whether it's probably a bit slippery out there, but both sides really struggling to get any sort of rhythm going at the moment.
Ground is pretty sensational, Nick. When you look at, we've had a week's worth of rain in the Sydney area.
It's good work from Jajura there.
Jajura gets the clearance, but not to the avail. But Collett, just playing a little bit of scrappy forcings back at the moment. No real good possessions coming from this. Another free kick. It's called play on. No, it's going to come back. And it will be Lowcock that will receive the free kick.
Lee Hendra has just ran all by himself forward, and that's where it's not going there. But
AFA looking for a grab.
Get it
Can't
now,
get it. Hendra on the left foot snap. It's going to roll through for their second of the day.
well, I could see it from here. Surely they could see it. An interesting move from Sydney. Jason Kalukas normally plays midfield, is sitting alone in the goal square for Sydney. So interesting to see how that goes once it does go down there. He's being picked up by Ben Corrin.
So once again, Sydney doing their best, but the ball is wrapped up, and I think that is Darling with the ball. So the 22s go at it again. Peter gets the tap forward, picks up Biggs. Biggs gets the clearance, can't quite control it there in Anstey. Slightly in the back, not called by the umpire from Bartlett, and there's a nice little handball there from Donahue. Out wide, and picks up his Sydney teammate. Ryan back in front, picks up Richardson.
Good work there.
And Darling there just trying to get his hands in front. Sorry, Coop. And to no avail, the VAFA rebound, but poor kick, recovered by Donahue. Donahue starts to run forward, getting some pressure. Scrubby left footer back in, only to the advantage of the Vics, but Skews is hot on his trail there and almost gets it on Anstey. Good break
Jajura
there from Jajura. Jajura running through with the orange boots,
Goes
the
long.
big right foot bomb, looking for Rogers, and he takes it!
No, play on.
But the left foot didn't pay, and I think Kalupas there.
No, Alex Lee.
Alex Lee gets the second for Sydney AFL.
And, that could be the 210 from Hobart coming in, we see, but there's definitely all the goals have been out of real opportunist goals, so that could be the way it is today.
Peter doing well there, only to the advantage of Donahue. Donahue gets held on to, and the ball will come back. Free kick to Sydney.
See Dan Sydney look like they want to really run out of the back line, and so far it's working. When they do run, they're looking really good.
They are a younger side. They've probably got about, on average, there's a couple of years difference between them as Jajura hands off to Donahue again. Through the centre to Richardson. Sorry, Collett. Collett, left foot looking inside. Good hip and shoulder there from the big fella in Corrin. Sydney still pushing, trying to make the most. That's a left foot out, and I think that's gone through. Rampy!
We saw Rampy start in the under-23 game, kicking 9, and he's on the way again. You see Ben Doherty there on the bench waiting for his chance to come on.
Darling and Heater once again. Hendra tries to get the clearance to the left handball out. Sitting underneath Egan at the moment. But the ball is going to be wrapped up. We'll have another centre throw up.
And Sydney AFL playing really good committed football at the moment, and they'll need to do that all day against this star-studded Victorian lineup.
Heater doing a good job in the ruck, but there's a nice little tap there from Arnold. Just can't quite get the clearance to Hendra. Back over the top, picks up Patterson. Patterson handballs over and picks up Biggs. Big fly from the back line and can't quite gather. Opportunity here for the VAFA. Left foot snap from Arnold.
Yeah, good goal.
Arnold nails it and gets one back for the VAFA.
We see Troy Luff coming onto the ground for his first run today, going straight into the ruck, which we did see him do a job there against Western Suburbs for his Bulldogs side earlier in the year and turned the game for them.
So Luffy against Heater. Another clearance there through Johnston. Johnston, one of the late inclusions for the Vics. Bomb inside from Patterson. The boys fly high. Can't quite be taken there by Pask. Oh, not a bad tackle, but not called. Donahue gets a clearance. There's something going on in the background there.
Yeah, Pask grabbed Dentwhistle after he got rid of it and held onto him too long around the head. So the umpire spotted it.
Free kick coming back to the Sydney AFL.
It started well on Pask Dentwhistle.
Looking for Goodall here. Just drops short, finds him eventually. Kalupis with handball over the top. Finds Collett. Collett does well. Here's some voice from Jajura. Jajura can't quite control. Good work from the Vics. We see Lowcock try to get a clearance. Gets tackled well. And it will come away. Advantage played through Arnold. Arnold hits Biggs out on the far wing. Biggs looking for Brown. And finds him just inside. Lead coming. Decides not to use it. Lead there coming from Robbins. Left foot inside, travels about the 40 for the big fella at full forward. To no avail. Vic still with an opportunity here. Handball shoveled out from Pask. Looking back inside, Biggs doesn't find him. But they still battle away, just not some good marking up. And a left foot there from Perry. And I think Perry's kicked that. The opportunist goals continue. And that takes it out to a 1-point lead for the VAFA, their first of the day. Got young Alex Goodall in the centre now, along with Luff. So they're going to keep on rotating the players, make sure they keep it fit and keep that run as Luff and Heater go at it again. Heater doing a great job, just about winning 90% of the rucks at the moment. But the clearance is coming off the half-back line through Donahue once again. He's a bit of a ball magnet at the moment. Coop tries to do his best, but can't quite get the grab. A bit high there through Lee, good but tackle. Not quite. Good tackle laid through Matt Carey. And a kick will go to Rogers.
You could get this on a normal day. Not sure how heavy the ball would be.
Rogers short one through. Can't quite. Plenty of body presence there from the Vics. It was a nice job and pretty clean there by Steele, but only as far as Luffy. So Luff inside, gets chopped off. Poor kick there and finds Patterson. Patterson, left foot, out to wide, but to no advantage there for Biggs. The taller of the men there coming across was Chris Nordorf. So we see Anstey chasing, hands off, gets Pask. Pask, short ball inside, but straight to the Sydney AFL man in Troy Bartlett. Luffy working hard, creating some space. Not the best of kick here. He's going to hit Scanlon well and truly, so that's a couple for Luffy. A little bit disappointing early.
Turned it over twice early.
Scanlon looks inside. Good bit. Oh, it's a great mark.
Not sure it could be Pask. Yep, looks like it is.
Marty Pask starting to show some authority here. He has, as we mentioned, plays for Uni Black in the VAFAs in Section A of the comp and has had history with the Lions and the Western Bulldogs. So far this year, he's laid on 23 goals in the Ammos.
And Hayden Heater, who plays for Old Oveno, who's playing really well, has just come off for a well-earned rest, been replaced by another big unit, Nicholas Bye.
So we'll see Marty Pask try to get his first on the board for the day, which would get the VAFA out to a 7-point lead. It's close,
he's missed it.
He has missed it. He'll be extremely disappointed. So opportunities going a little bit away at the moment for the VAFA, but some poor skills have really led him back into it at the moment. Some of those turnovers across the half-back and through the centre of the ground creating it, and there's another good mark there from Luffy. He'll want to go back and make the most of this one.
Oh, his handball.
Gets rid of it there, obviously not confident of the kicking at the moment. Trying to pick up skews. Good work there coming through from Coop. Attack on the footy. Good all looking for an option. Coop's the man he takes. Little left footer, not the best. Tries to hit to the advantage of Wright, but there's a gather there from Lee. Lee, no good. Handball's off. Carey trying his best.
There's good pressure there from Victoria.
Done well, and it'll eventually come out through Frangiacomo.
It's a boundary throw-in.
And we'll see a boundary throw-in inside Sydney's attacking 50.
It was really good work there from Victoria. Sydney should have really scored from that.
So Coop in the ruck against Bye. Bye gets the tap straight down to Anstey. Advantage here to Egan. Egan, Jujura comes through, drops it on the right boot. It's high, it's long. Looking for Vlatko, the smallest man there on with two men on him. Ooh, just...
Very unlucky there, Vlatko.
Yes, he got the bit of the palm off there, but to no advantage. The ball's going to come back. Across the face of goal for the Vics. It's Anstey. Anstey.
Good work to Jura.
Good work there, but
it's played a free kick.
It's like chopping the arms, I'd say there. I think on the big fella in Bye.
Yeah, I'm still old-fashioned. I still think that's how I play on.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I think that's the way it should be. So Bye along the far wing, centre of the ground. Little tap there to the advantage of the Vics, but Luffy in the spot again, reads the ball so well. Tries to pick Carey. Carey gets held there.
Yep, fair enough.
And the kick will come back, paid there by umpire Richardson.
It's a fairly open forward line, but they haven't really got the big targets down there, Sydney.
So Jujura up to fly. No mark taken. Little shovel out the back from the Vics. Plenty of pressure being applied there from Rogers. The right foot come over from Jujura, but only the advantage of the Vics. And they will break free through Corrin. Corrin, nice little kick amongst the Sydney AFL boys. Hit McGuinness. Pask out further. Good bump there coming across, but...
Yeah, he did well there.
Caught a bit high. I think that was Richardson.
Did very well.
So Richardson looking for Kalupis. He will get across the shoulder there. Late to arrive was Brown. Kalupis switches play to the far side of the ground. Donahue again.
He's had a lot of touches, Declan Donahue.
Hits Coop. Coop back to Richardson. Richardson just managed to clear the defensive line for the Vics. Kieran Wright there couldn't quite get a disposal. Plenty of pressure on him. Alex Lee inside the square. Can't quite be taken.
Rampy's dangerous here.
And they shovel it over the line there through Steele. And that's a point to the Sydney AFL. So we're about 17, 18 minutes through this first half. It's 3 goals to 20, the VAFA, to Sydney AFL, 3 goals, 1-19. And the long kick out of defence, just gets a touch there. Donahue throws his man off, gets back to Carey.
Got Jujura all by himself.
Carey decides not to use him, and yes, not happy with that Jujura, as you could imagine, but I just don't think he could hear him.
I don't think he did. He probably thought he was under a bit more pressure than he was too.
As you can imagine, these rep sides, they can sometimes be a little bit difficult to start to get the voices together. You're used to your own teammates in your ears, and sometimes these are the blokes you're playing against you start to hear in your ears and you second guess yourself.
Exactly. Don't want to give it to him.
Clearance comes through Patterson for the VAFA, looking for the boundary line. And Lowcock helps it along the way with Carey.
The Victorian defence working really well there, and it's probably made easier for them because the entry in hasn't been great. They are small forwards. I see Jajura spending a bit of time down there at the moment, so he may be resting down there.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest probably thing that's missing in the Sydney AFL is that true full forward. It's the Dugmore or the Withers not being sitting in that square.
Definitely.
Well, little chip kick comes through. Good work from Ryan. They decide to play on, and it's Egan with the ball, and he gets smothered there.
Yeah, I think Coop probably should have had a shot himself.
Yes, I think that would have been the way to go there. Coop only about 35 out, should have gone back and had the shot. So he'll take up the ruck. Goodall gets a nice little clearance. Tries to pick up Egan. Egan can't quite gather, so the turnover comes, but they've worked it over the boundary line. See another throw in. So Bai gets the tap down, and this should be a clearance here for the Vicks, but good pressure being applied there. Donahue again. Can't quite find Lowcock. Luffy tried and true across that centre, providing rebound, and picks up Ryan. Ryan handballs off quickly. And I think that's Collett looking across. Rogers just can't quite get there quick enough, and Frangiacomo manages to come through and spoil. Serafani working it through and gets a little chip. A bit disappointing, the skills for the VAFA early. They're turning it over a little bit now. Matt Carey only to bump there straight on from Jajura to McGuinness. Jajura trying hard. Back in there again. Here's Rampy.
Well,
Rampy, the young fella, trying hard. Coop back to Jajura, can't quite find the man. Little ball slips out. Donahue on the right foot for the snap. Gonna go close, but punched over the line there. Good job by Serafini.
Really good work there from Jajura. He worked into about 5 contests then.
VFA try to bring it out again and picks up a nice mark there through Scanlon. Scanlon onto Biggs. It's through the centre looking for the contest, but a push out. No. Yeah. Holding there paid.
It's against Kieran Wright.
Yes, Kieran Wright.
Is it Matty Robbins?
Matty Robbins, correct. So Robbins from outside 50 gets a long boot on there, and I tell you, hits the post. That was a sensational kick on a wet day with a footy that's just going to only get wetter.
He can kick a ball, Matty Robbins. He showed that at the Bulldogs. He was very, very long kick for goal. Obviously, he needs to get the radar working today. He's missed 2 now.
So Richardson clears out the far pocket, picks up Donahue.
The Sydney AFL have had the ball in their forward line a fair bit, probably the last 5 or 6 minutes, and haven't been able to capitalise on it, so they really need to try and score a goal before quarter time.
Rudolph there gets a touch, and over and across to Richardson again. The AFL just looking for options, a little bit crowded. Carey provides a lead, and it's a good one at that, and he's showing to play extremely well, the young fella, early on.
Well, Carey.
Bartlett, but only as far as Roach. And we'll see the return of favour again. The good thing is at least they're playing a nice open brand of football at the moment, which most of the rep games tend to be. So play on there from Serafini, but once again, that centre-half backs of either ground just seem to be picking it up. Good smother there coming from McGuinness. McGuinness puts the hammer down. Nice little hands up to Doherty. Doherty drops it up, but it's going to go far enough. Not quite.
Well, it could be a goal.
Hang on, it has. It's made it over the line. And the Vicks get their 4th in the opening quarter.
See the Victorian officials there. Very well dressed. Good to see.
Luff and Heater. Luff wins that one. Heater goes a little bit too early. Good attack on the football then by Lee. Watkins tries to shovel one out, doesn't quite get there, but Donahue applies a little bit of late pressure there and into the back on Biggs, and Biggs will get the free kick. Score play on, not quite sure. Biggs tries to escape. Lee runs him down, and that will be a little bit late. And we'll see a kick here for Johnston. Johnston, poor pass again. They're really struggling to deliver it nicely inside 50. So the clearance now coming through Entwistle. Entwistle looking for Coop, but only goes as far there as Roach. Roach kicks back to a contest, but it's a strong mark there from Handley. Handley looking straight through the centre, only as far as Vlatko. And Vlatko will switch it to the far side through Luff. Luff back to Vlatko. Vlatko will run all day.
Could have kept running.
Through the centre looking for Rogers. Rogers really outmanned there on a bigger man through Frangiacomo. And once again, we're going to see a fairly solid height advantage in that forward line to the Vics, but we're starting to see some of those opportunist goals coming because they are a little bit fleet of foot around that forward line as well, as Jajura goes to full forward now. So Coop with the right boot tries to shovel in only as far as the Vics. The Amos start to bring it through and pick up Laycock. Laycock decides to play on. Little dangerous.
Work, Shane Ryan.
And Luff's the man. Only one there. He's got only one to beat.
He's got Jajura loose.
Jajura takes that. About 52 out from goal. It's a short pass. It's going to be dangerous. Not quite there, so they're going to run away with it again. Straight into Jajura. He balks. Comes back. Another short kick. Disappointing skills once again. Comedy of errors at the moment from both sides. The ball finally makes its way through Brown as the quarter-time siren sounds.
Chorluff not happy with the attention he caught there.
And what you could say is a pretty entertaining first quarter of football, very free-flowing, and it'll see the Victorian Amateurs go in with a 7-point lead for 3:27 to the Sydney AFL 3:2:20. Welcome back to the start of the second quarter, thanks to Foxtel and Aurora, the community channel. Sydney AFL match of the week. VAFA with a 7-point lead, and we'll see Darling and Heater go at it again to get us started. Clearance comes through, Scanlon gets caught with the ball. Good tackle there from Watkins.
Yeah, he's been pinged. Scanlon, the young Dermot Brereton lookalike, wearing the 23 for Victoria.
Happy days. So Watkins pushes out, tries to pick up Skews. Skews, bit of a one-handed juggle there, does well. Gonna lead into this near pocket. Skew goes to the far, looking for Coop. They all fly high. Gathered there and looking to dispose of it through Brown. Vicks through the centre, they escape. Bartlett there just can't quite, and gets a nice little bit of a bump and a strong tackle that not high. So Handley there absolutely has belted, and I think that's ended up being a cork on these right leg for Bartlett, and they've gone long, just fingertips there. I believe it might have been right.
That was a very strong tackle from Matthew Handley. Looks like a very strong lad, and he's come out worse for wear, Troy Bartlett.
Just crunched Bartlett. He didn't know he was coming his turn, and Handley was coming in at 100 miles an hour, and they've just, I think that knee of Handley's just collected Bartlett in that right thigh, and I reckon that's going to be a pretty fair cork. So Darling can't quite take the mark out of the back line of the clearance, and Entwistle doing a job there, trying to get rid of it as well. Looking for Skews against the big ruckman. No eyes for the ball there through Heater, and I think Skews has copped a little bit of a bump there in the nose, but he looks like he's all right. He'll come back and take his kick.
Yeah, Bartlett's coming off too. He can hardly run now.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see him for the rest of the day. That's I reckon that was a knee dead set into his leg, and we won't see him again. So right looks long, but there's a push in the back there coming via the way of Rampy. And the Vicks will return favour through the centre of the ground. I think that might be Brown with the footy. Long left footer looking to a good lead there from Doty. So Doty, inside 50.
Robbins.
Good lead, strong mark there from Robbins. Robbins looking for another one, and it's a good knock there from the back. Good punch there coming from right. And the Sydney side will return favour through Skews. Option in the middle for Coop. Just bounces in front of him, mark not taken. Some of these skills a little bit. Watkins there across the back, looking for holding the ball. Finally gets pushed out through Johnston. Sydney AFL will recover through Wright. So Wright looking for Alex Lee, flies high! Good mark, and I tell you what, his opponent there has copped it pretty hard, and Luff takes an easy mark inside 50.
I think it was Tony Brown, come off second best.
Tony Brown, I think he's copped a nice little Alex Lee knee to the back of the head there. He's looking a bit rusty. So Luffy will go back and look to open the scoring in this second quarter for the Sydney AFL. Going to kick from about 40, 45 out. Would normally you'd expect to eat this up. Has been playing a bit more full forward this year with his club, the Uni New South Wales Bulldogs. Not looking good, so I've brought the mocker out early. He's pushed it to the left and only good enough for a point. So the VAFA 7-point lead, 4-4-28. Sydney AFL 3-3-21. 3.5 minutes into this second quarter. Well, good work there from Coop, but I think the mark's been paid anyway. Otherwise, it was a...
he played a free kick.
A little bit of touchy-feely going on here. Donahue not impressed. Oh, Ben Doty brings it forward. That's a pretty poor kick there, only as far as Entwistle. Entwistle goes straight across ground to switch it up and does a great job there to pick up Darling. So even though the switch went that way, not a huge amount of activity, but it finally makes it over there, and that's a pretty ordinary kick coming there from Darling. He's kicked it to a 3-on-1 situation. Heater gets the handball out. Will come back through the centre through Biggs. So Biggs, another pretty ordinary kick. It's going to end up as a 3-on-1 contest here, and I think Doherty, that's going to be called not in the back. Skews has done a good job there, and he's been called holding the ball.
Yeah, a bit unlucky. I don't think he had any prior opportunity there.
Doherty's had it tough in the last couple of minutes, but we pick up Alex Lee through the centre of the ground. Alex Lee playing with the Sydney University side this year. Coming off a bag of 6 last week.
Yeah, that is a bag, Dan.
As we've duly discussed, but Skews kicks into the man. McGuinness. McGuinness is going to do well to get his ball back here. But Skews does equally as well. Manages to wrap him up, and the ball will be thrown up. So good work there from Skews.
One thing we've seen, which you would expect at this level, but the tackling has been really good from both sides.
Yeah, considering the conditions, mate, there's a fair bit of dampness, as was said. So Donahue breaks one through with the right foot, inside 50, looking for Vlatko, but the taller Vicks there managed to do a good job. But Rampy with a left foot straight up and down to no avail. Heater just gets taken off the ball, but he's been called with it. He had his head well and truly over it.
And I think in the rules, Dan, that says you're in possession.
I believe so. So Heater. It's a good lead.
Almost blocked.
There's good work through the Vicks there. Doty looking for it again. Coop does a good job there to keep him off the ball. Donahue. Collett.
Nice kick.
Out to Darling. Back through the centre. Finds Ryan. Ryan, there's a plethora of Vicks there. Luffy gets his man out of the way. Vlatko gets one in the back, doesn't get paid.
Yeah, I think the dive did it.
Give him a 9 for that one, I think. So Hendra. Back through Serafini. Just a little bit too long there, Entwistle. Unfortunate. It was a good contest. But Handley with the ball puts it pretty much straight up. A bit of shepherding there from Donahue for Coop, but they couldn't quite get it to sit up. Goodall tries to nugget his way through. Just to push in the back there from Collett. The Vicks come away with it, but once again, poor kick, and Coop's got a little bit of slippery fingers at the moment. Second one bounces off his chest. Good tackle there from Donahue. And it's called holding the ball. Arnold, the man, gets picked up there, and free kick going the way of Sydney. So
battle of the half-back lines at the moment.
It is well and truly.
To hit targets in the forward line.
Nordorf there managed to escape. Straight through the centre, no talk there, but Lee. And It's just to pinch it off the front of Egan. Go long, looking for Rogers. Rogers a little bit too short, but does have the pace. Handley there does well. Heater doesn't quite get a break. Good tackle there from Goodall on the big fella. Rogers and Goodall in there. Heater at the bottom.
Good work there from the Sydney small forwards. They work really hard to keep it there.
I think we've just got two sides that are really managing their backlines well at the moment here. Phil, they're pretty well drilled. The best of the best from both of these comps, and they're really doing a good job. Just those skills letting both sides down as they try to deliver to advantage inside 50.
You are right. You wouldn't expect to be getting any easy kicks today, really.
Darling looking for Luff. Luff flies high. Strong mark from the ex-Sydney Swan.
That's almost what they need. They need the taller marking target down there. So good move from Danny Ryan to get Luff deep in the forward line.
You only got to look in the pocket there, in the square at the moment. You can see Rogers on two of those backmen, and they've got about a foot on him.
And they've got pace, which usually helps Ben Rogers, but they've got pace as well.
So Luff from 45 out. This is looking a lot better. Luffy kicks his first for the day, and that gets Sydney AFL back to 1 point the difference. So the Rucks to go at it again. Heater uses the body well, gets a bit of a push out. Sydney doing well to play off him at the moment. He's winning most of the ruck contest, but Sydney doing well, and Darling does a good job there to back up. Kieran Wright. Poor hand pass, only as far as the opponent. Oh, Arnold trying well. Oh, good bump there, and Kalupis has come off. Well, they've both come off second best in that one. Lowcock.
Clash of heads, maybe.
And Kalupis.
He'll get up. He usually does, Jason Kalupis.
And McGuinness is down in back play as well. There's a good punch there from Richardson. Playing a captain's knock at the moment. He's doing a good job across that half back line. Now got the job on Marty Pass, so you can see why they rate him pretty highly. He's got a little bit of height on Marty Pass, but Richardson, he will try on him all day and will do a great job. Heater with the knock again.
And Kalupis down there tackling again.
Trying to get rid of the ball, and I'll tell you what, Kalupis, he's a nugget of a fella and he's very strong. Lowcock's come off and he's clutching at a left shoulder, not looking well.
I think it's just, I think it's more concussion rather than the shoulder, although they are paying some attention to it.
Jujura tries to get the fast break, can't quite do it, he'll come back.
And maybe that bit of toughness from Kalupis at both ends there might just inspire Sydney a little bit.
It's not often he comes off second best. So Jujura. Cross to Richardson, and he's been not going to accept play on to Darling. So Richardson did well there to run that distance, or actually it's Wright. So Wright, short little jabbing pass into Carey. Carey marks about 35 metres out from goal.
Yeah, it's great work from Sydney there. That's all they need to do is hold on to the ball and just wait for that right option rather than they've been kicking it long, and with the small forwards, they're going to be spoilt every time.
So Matt Carey certainly knows how to kick a goal. He kicks plenty for his own club in the Pennant Hills side, and has kicked over a ton in his junior season as well in the under-18, so knows how to find them.
He kicked 3 or 4 in the under-23 game too.
So Matt Carey delivers and delivers well, and that'll get the lead back for the Sydney AFL.
And we see Bai come back into the ruck, and Peter's having a rest. He he's starting to look a bit tired, so we'll see how that goes the whole game.
He's a big fella, so I'm sure he'd like those little rests towards the end of the quarters. So Donahue once again through Richardson. Richardson spots up Goodall, his teammate.
He can
Goodall.
run.
Little left foot jab inside and picks up Carey again. He's leading fantastically today, Carey. He's doing a great job.
The two Pennant Hills teammates there.
So right now inside, can't quite find him. Good work there coming from Steele. The man of, we might say. And Shane Ryan there cuts off the kick looking for Patterson. Back inside, Donahue for another touch. The big right boot comes in, drills it inside, but cut off there by Roach. So the Vicks will look to repel, and they're going to do that first of all through McGuinness. McGuinness just drops the ball in short, trying to find Robbins. Good tackle there being laid by Vlatko. It's the Sydney side coming on top again.
There's a free kick off the ball.
So
Big
by
ruckman
there's
boys cleaned up Kalupis.
Flatten Kalupis. They're making sure they knows he's had a game of footy today. Kalupis, very strong. Have to go back here, so it just allows the Vics to get back. Goodall provides a lead on the centre wing. We'll bring it back across now through right. Right switches and continues on. A bit of a fumble there coming from Nordorf, but he recovers and does well. Looks inside, trying to pick up Coop, and Coop just sits the right spot. Tries to give a bit of a don't argue there to McGuinness. I says that's okay. Rogers looking for a lead. It's not used.
Luff.
Looking for Luff. That's a good fly there from the Vic player. I think that might have been Roach again. Good job there from Roach. Good contest. So far side of the ground. By has the ball. Asked to play on. Back to Ryan. Ryan shows it. Finds Richardson. Richardson with the handball as well. Picks up Vlatko.
Nice.
Vlatko looking for Luff, but he's just going to float back
Just
there.
short.
McGuinness just couldn't quite get enough on it. So McGuinness looks for Brown, but just over the fingertips there of Egan. So they play on through the wing. Another poor kick. Entwistle gets caught without the ball, and he's doing a fantastic job there on Hanley at the moment, making the big fella work hard.
So we're 15 minutes into the second quarter, and Sydney AFL leading by 5 points, and they're playing really well, Sydney. Probably want a couple more before half-time to just consolidate.
Hanley's kicked 27 this year for old Xavier, so knows how to lead from the front and kick goals, so he's being held well at the moment. And the one-hander there coming from Coop. Plays on to Collett. Collett looking across, trying to pick up Carey. He's going to have to do well this time. Can't quite get there. Good punch from the Vics. By through the centre. Looks for Patterson. Patterson can't quite get there. So I think that was Carey again. Kalupis shows it. Back through Collett. Collett
Nice
looks for
kick.
Rogers. Good lead, just not quite far enough, or kick didn't travel quite far enough there. Bit of a contest. I think that's Rampy in there, or Luff. No, Luff.
Ryan.
The sun starts to show itself. Rogers with a little left footer. It's only going to be sit up there for the Vics, and it comes away through Anstey. Anstey looks for Roach, and
It's good pressure again from Sydney.
it's well done. Rampy on the left foot. Only good enough for a point. And that'll see the Sydney AFL go out to a 6-point margin, 5-4-34, to the VAFA 4-4-28. Sorry, 5-5-35 that would be after that point. 7 points the margin. And we're 16 and a half minutes into this second quarter. A Darling, little short one across to the centre of the half-back line.
At the moment, Sydney have all the play. They really need to get it onto the scoreboard.
And Nordorf through the centre. Richardson looks out wide.
What you were saying earlier, Dan, about the younger side may come into play as the game goes on too.
Luff looks forward, can't quite find a
Shane
target,
Ryan.
but it's Shane Ryan. Doesn't straighten it up enough and just comes off the fingertips of Anstey. And we'll have a boundary throw in. So Sydney need to just get back there and try to make a little bit of this. I'm sure they'd love to get another one on the board right about now. And really put it into the Vics in this first half. Darling gets the tap, and Watkins gets it on the
He's
toe!
got- touched. Bad luck.
So touched on the line there, and I think it might have been Biggs there. It was a man that got the touch. So good, no, it was Hendra. So well done there for Hendra. The old Brighton player. And they'll play on through the back line, looking for Scanlon. Scanlon might have given it, no, he's paid that. Play on. Back through McGuinness. McGuinness, oh, poor skills once again. Vic's letting themselves down. It's Maxi Collett through the centre. Tries to lay on the big one, doesn't get enough
Well
on
done,
it.
Rogers.
This might sit for
Carey.
Carey on the left.
Great goal. Well done, Sydney. Good pressure.
So Davidson gets us underway, calls a free kick. Collett will play on to the advantage. Jajura trying to take that, but too far. Wurrigather. Jajura puts a foot down. On the right foot, can he get it through?
No, he's missed it. That would have been very handy for Sydney before half-time.
Oh, dangerous! Luff! Poor kick out. Once again, the skills are really letting the ammos down at the moment. So continually they keep to turn it over, Phil.
The Victorian heads are dropping down a bit too, so if Troy Luff can put this through, it's really going to put the pressure on the Victorians, and scoreboard pressure is what it's all about. So hopefully Troy Luff can put this through.
So Troy Luff, he's kicked 1-1 today. We'll get a lovely shot of this, and that's dead eye. He's got that through, and that'll put the margin out to 20 points for the Sydney AFL. So umpire Sean Richardson to get us underway. Other umpires today, as mentioned earlier, Russell Davidson from the VAFA and Damien Anderson from the Sydney AFL. So free kick paid to the Vics. I think it might be Arnold. Arnold will come out of the centre. They need to do a little bit of work here, but that's not going to help them. Donahue snatches the ball through the guts, drops it on the right. Sorry, that was actually Egan. But Egan goes straight to the Vic opponent of Rampy. And the Vics get a little bit of recovery time here. So trying to pick up Pask. Pask tries his best, but he had plenty of contest there coming from Luff across the front. Well tackled. They're tackling well at the moment, Sydney. They're doing a really good job to smother those balls there. You can tell they're really out on a mission today.
Yeah, Danny Ryan will be very happy with the way they've committed themselves. They're playing a really good team brand of football.
So the Sun makes another appearance. So Kalupis, the advantage of Ryan. Skews puts his foot down. Might just hit Jajura, not far enough, and it'll bounce over for a behind. So the score 7-7-49, VAFA 4-4-28, 21 points the margin, 21 minutes into this second quarter. So they make a break. Serafini looking for a contest.
Good punch.
No good from Hendra. Punch well there from Watkins. Well, we finally get a mark inside 50 for the Vics, and it's Perry.
That's about the first time all day I've seen Entwistle beaten too. He's been really good there.
I'll tell you what, it's been a while since we've seen a reasonable mark taken inside 50 by the Vics. So well done through the Sydney AFL backline. They can hold their heads high in this first half. So Adam Peary from Old Brighton's kicked 30 this year, and that is not going to add to it. But it's a good fly from behind, not taken. Coop has pulled it down. It just came off hands there from the Vics.
Matty Robbins, I think, was the big fly.
So Heater back on the ground, looks to get the tap inside. No good, but it's a beautiful pass straight down McGuinness's throat. He looks to get one back on the board, and it's a good kick. Gets one back for the Vics.
The Victorian bench there, they'll be happy with that goal just before half-time to lift some pride in that Big V Guernsey.
And their first goal of this second half, which is interesting. So they'll look to try and slide another one in here before half-time if they can. The ball as far as Skews. Oh, he's just gone straight into the man, but managed to slip one out. Darling steps back inside, does well, the big fella. Looking for Carey. Carey's going to go up, but can't quite get the grab. Collett roaming. Shovels out. Watkins trying. As we see the Vics come away with it. Short pass through the centre, and that's a good one. Not quite by Robbins. Robbins across to Arnold. Arnold shovels it out to Brown. The pass comes inside 50, and Pask. It's another one in for the Vics, so they're finally starting to string a few passages together here. And this will be a little bit disappointing for the Sydney AFL if he manages to get this one through. Good work by the Vics, though, to get another one or two back before this halftime siren sounds.
It's one of the few times we've seen them actually hit some targets consistently.
So Marty Pask, he's kicked the 1 point so far today, so looking to open the goal-scoring account. He's not going to do it. It's drifted across.
Yes, I was going to say there's a nice push in the back there.
I think that came from Peary. The break comes through, laugh across to Watkins, no talk there, he didn't know what was happening. Brown delivers back, finds Biggs. Biggs got a man open across centre. I think it might be Arnold. Arnold, a little short one. This is going to be poor once again. Richardson managed to smother that and get it over to Scanlon. Recovers. Pask runs free. It's looking like
He likes it. Yeah, he's got it.
He's delivered that, and the Vics get another one back. Opportune moment. So Marty Pask gets his first on the board for the day, and that will bring it back to a 9-point margin. Well done there through the Vics to put some pressure on before they went to that half-time break. Darling through the centre. Bit of pressure there applied to Lee. And another ball up will come from it. Heater once again does a good job, but to the advantage of Kalupis, but Benny Rogers can jump only so high. And it's Marty Pask down in the back line there who does a job
good
there.
chase,
Good
Benny
work
Rogers.
from Rogers, and it's been paid as it should have been. It was a great tackle. Got a lot of pace there, and umpire Richardson. So Benny Rogers, he can kick at a distance, can't he? Phil?
He can. And Sam Johnson on the bench for Victorians with a big ice pack on his hamstring, so it might be the end for him today.
So Rogers will come in, kicks from about 48 metres out, gives it a big kick, but it floats across the front, only as far as Corrin.
He hasn't had much today, Benny Rogers, so it would have been handy for him to kick that one.
So Corrin will bring it out. Plays for De La Salle in the Section A of the Ammos. Scanlon there takes the mark, dishes off. Coop doing a good job there on, I think it was Steele, as the halftime siren sounds in a very entertaining, somewhat scrappy first half of football, which will see the underdogs, the Sydney AFL, go in with a 10-point margin at halftime. 7 goals, 850 to the VAFA, 6 goals, 440. Welcome back to the third quarter of the second of the Sydney AFL representative matches for 2008. Thanks to Foxtel and Aurora, the community channel. We'll begin this second half with the Sydney AFL holding a 10-point lead after a bit of a late fight back from the VAFA. Sean Richardson will get us underway. Darling and Heater to go at it once again. Kalupis holding the ball up there.
And Dan, after half time, the Victorian Amateurs only got 2 on the bench, and one of those, Tony Brown, went straight to the bench, didn't even warm up, so they possibly could be down to 1 man. The other 2, I don't know where they are, they didn't come out at all.
And Marty Pask in the centre now gets that clearance. Only as far as the Sydney AFL. It comes out through Ryan. Ryan to Richardson, gonna get caught! Good tackle being laid there by Perry. So Perry, the quick changeover, he's going to look to the far pocket, to the big man, and he finds him.
That's a bad turnaround from Sydney. They were off and running, they had numbers, and there was just no teamwork there.
So Ben Doherty with an opportunity here to get an early goal on the board for the Vics. He's kicked 1 so far today. Slow approach. It is going to drift across to the right. Only good enough for a 1 behind, so the Vics get us underway for scoring. So Donahue will take the kick out. Nice pass through to Ryan. They start to fan out the Sydney boys. Finds Nordorf. Nordorf, not the best of kicks, but Alex Lee attacks it hard. Good job. Finds Ryan to Richardson. Coop, good scoop. Back to Collett. Sorry, to Kalupis.
You're a poet, you didn't know it, Dan.
Coop, scoop. There through me. So, turnover. Back through Robbins. Robbins through the centre of the ground. Finds Patterson. Little short one, and he takes him on there. Serafini. Handball's out. Anstey looking for a leading mark, can't find it. Nordorf manages to clear for Sydney AFL, and it's Luff who's going to gather. Goes back, finds Skews. Skews looking for Lee. Lee should take this and takes it well.
Needs to get up, get on to Carey on an early lead. Goes there now.
Matt Carey. Pass just a little bit too high for both of those contests. A push there coming from Corin. Got the Vicks through Heater. Heater, another ugly kick for the Vicks. They've still haven't got the kicking boots on. A bit of a don't argue there from Pask. On Ryan, finds its way over the boundary line.
So the fitness, the Victorians will be tested with only the ruckman able to probably change off the bench, or unless they change through the forward line, Dan. But so the young Sydney side should be in the box seat in that regard for fitness.
Another good tap from Heater. He's been fantastic in the ruck today. The Sydney AFL have had to play off him. So Kalupas misses the handball across to cover there from Donahue. Donahue finds Ryan in space on the near wing.
Good work from Donahue. Worked really hard to get a block there.
Goodall does a good job there. Watkins back to Donahue, back to Ryan. Ryan just manages to miss Biggs there. And Nordorf takes a nice mark. Pressure being applied there from the big man in Handley. It's a nice little change of direction. Finds Skews. Skews finds Darling well and truly on his own, but that's a well understood handball there coming from the opposition, but they've turned it over once again. Watkins with a little handball. Richardson on the left, but no good. Good punch there coming from Steele. Jajura just manages to keep it in. Looks inside, no one marking up Luff. Luff takes the mark. So he's going to have to kick from 50.
It's good work from Jajura then, nice composure.
Just thought that ball might have been over the line, but...
Yeah, I think it was, Dan, but we'll give the umpire the benefit of the doubt, as we always do.
Absolutely. Well, he did have the... he was facing the back of the player. So Luff will come in and try and get the Sydney AFL's first goal. It's a good long kick. I think it might just find its way short. And it's rushed over the line there for the Vicks. Through... I think it might have been Johnston. No, it was Frangiacomo. So Corin, booming kick, and that's a strong mark there coming from the Vicks. Plays on quickly, finds Robbins. Robbins looking inside 50 to the smaller man, and that's Biggs on the back of a good grab.
Matty Robbins getting some touches now, he's playing up the ground.
Biggs looks to go long, but it's going to end up working out all right, but there's a good punch there coming from right, I think it might have been, but Handley back on the right's touch, play on. Watkins manages to gather there. I know, actually, it was Darling. Or Coop, I'll get that right the third time. There's Watkins, so it wasn't him back there, that's for sure. Kalupas gathers. Looking for Goodall. Goodall gets caught. Good defence being applied by McGuinness, and the ball almost being hatched, comes clear. Robbins. It's the quick kick away, and that should be taken there by Pask. Sorry, Doherty. So Doherty on the tight boundary line.
The big ruckman by waiting to come on to the ground. So I'll be interested to see what that changes. Only 5-6 minutes gone into the quarter.
And it's Corin coming off in the back line. Solid build, Corin. So Doherty looking to add to his 1-goal-1, and he's going to add to it with another behind. So 6 minutes into this third quarter, and the Sydney AFL maintaining a 9-point lead, 7-9-51 to 6-6-42. Donahue looking to return the ball to a pack of Sydney players, and Wright does a good job there. So Wright hurries it on. And Whistle unfortunately just losing his footing there, and that means Hendra can take a nice mark. Got a little bit of a tap behind the ears. So movement a bit short, and lucky enough to find a man there in Anstey. Anstey looks far, and a nice easy mark there for the Vicks, which will give them another opportunity on goal.
And Big Boy has gone to full forward, so that's going to be a fairly hard matchup for Sydney. He's a big unit. I think Wright is picking up at the moment.
I think
that's Richardson, actually.
Biggs with the ball. So Biggs will come in for a shot from about 45 out.
He likes
it's looking nice, straight over the umpire's head, and that's another one back for the Vicks.
So Coach Dean Anderson would be liking what he's seen after half-time.
Yeah, so mounting the pressure now, the Vicks, but good all. It's a hurried handball through to Ryan. Good work there through to Donahue, and they break through the centre. Donahue with a long trajectory kick inside 50, looking for Rogers. Rogers just can't quite gather that ball up, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. So margin back to 3 points. Luff in the ruck, wins the contest. Goodall picks it up, drops it on the left boot over the shoulder. Looking for Rampy. But the free kick has been given away for holding. I think it might have been Carey on that occasion. Short kick goes across ground, finds Arnold. And takes a bounce, continues to run. Good work from Hendra. From Heater. Through the guts, finds Patterson. Patterson onto
nice kick.
Anstey. Anstey finds a man. Short kick looking for Doherty, but it's towed through the centre. Through right. Donahue. Mr. Richardson, small fumble. Finds Entwistle. Collett.
Just come off the bench, so he's all by himself.
Collett takes one bounce. Looking for Luff. Luff tries to use the body, can't quite gather, and it comes away through Steele. Steele looking for Scanlon. The ball beats him and will have a boundary throw-in.
It's good to see. It's definitely young Dermot Brereton out there in that Victorian jumper, like young Dermot did many years ago, showing some pride in that big V.
The contest again, the ruckmen have been working hard all day. Darling not really winning the ruck contest, but he's doing a good job to back it up afterwards and get touches.
He has done a pretty good job all day, Darling, actually, given he's had the two bigger opponents to go up against.
Scanlon just gets a nice little one behind play. Long pass just onto the edge of 50. Good punch from Coop. Hanley manages to get through, but we've got to gather there from Patterson. Patterson looks on goal. It's coming back. That's a great kick. Goal. Patterson adds one on for the Vicks.
As we said, the Victorians undermanned at the moment with less players on the bench, but they're showing some pride in that jumper and really working hard after half-time.
So the Vicks have finally got themselves back in front, 3 points the margin. 11 minutes into this third quarter. Scrappy play on the edge of the box, and we'll have another bounce. And at it again, Heater wins it once again. Jajura finds a break. He runs on, runs into his own man in Coop. Coop gets the ball back. Ugly kick, but just can't quite find Rogers. Good work there as a recovery from Frangiacomo, but they've turned it over again. Watkins gets a hurried kick away. I think the ball just might beat them all to the boundary line. Goodall tries his best. Working with Hendra there.
And Frangiacomo done a really good job on Ben Rogers today.
Two ruckmen having to work pretty hard today. There's been plenty of contests that they've had to get to. Darling just holding the body in there, but only as good as the Vicks. Short kick comes away from Arnold, and he finds Scanlon. So Scanlon along the boundary line. The punch just comes across. Nordorf just gets a slight touch on it, beats everyone over the boundary line.
There's definitely a different Victorian side that's come out after half-time. They're looking a lot more committed and switched on.
Seem to be taking their time a little bit more now as well, Phil. Don't seem to be rushing the football. planning their delivery. So Coop gets back. Contest there against Handley. They get the break. Patterson looking to do the job. Can't quite get there. Donahue dishes out to Watkins. Watkins with a hurried kick. Attack on the football there coming from Robbins, but he can't quite gather. Vlatko just a little touch. Nice and clean, but he does get caught there once again by Robbins. The fast break comes. Good touch there from Watkins. Manages to smother the ball coming off Anstey. The break is away through Jajura. The long kick looking for Luff. Luff providing a target up forward. Does a good job there to get away from Roach. I think it was Rampy in the background there for providing a bit of a shepherd there for Luff to come across front. So Luff will kick from here from about 40 out and look to regain the lead for the Sydney AFL. The kick is on its way, but I think he has pushed that to the right. Umpire signals that way. Back to 2 points the margin, 14 minutes into this third quarter. So a quick kick out comes from Steele. Not the prettiest, only as good as Scanlon tries to get there, but that's out on the full there to a very disappointed Big V.
There was 3 fumbles and then a kick out on the full.
So Arnold there, the man, giving that across to Alex Lee. Alex Lee looks for a target there, just went over the top of Watkins, couldn't quite get there, Rogers. Going to kick it back to Lee again. That's a good mark there from Lee.
Judged it well.
So Arnold doing his best to return favour, but can't quite do it. Watkins works hard onto the boundary. Looking inside, no targets. Almost finds Rogers on the near boundary line. Just floats over his head. So definitely using this, not really going through the corridor at the moment. They're using the wings, and thankfully for us, the near wing makes it a little bit easier. Peter wins that contest once again. Short hands out there from Frangiacomo. And the long bomb comes from Serafini. Push out there comes from Handley. He's not been having the most enjoyable day. Coop's been doing a good job on him. No advantage there. The ball will come back to Coop. Vice captain for the Sydney AFL this rep game. So Jajura comes back to help him with the disposal. And that's a pretty ugly kick there, straight down the throat of Robbins.
Can't kick off one step.
Straight back to Jajura. He can't quite get a touch, and there's a, if it wasn't a high tackle.
Paid 50 metres.
I think Coop might have thought that there was a touched ball there, so he tried to play on, and Doties, who's been getting well involved, will give himself a shot. No, downfield. No, he will get it back, or won't he?
Yeah, he'll get it back 50 metres.
It was 50, wasn't it? Yep.
The big ruckman Hooters come off after 15, 16 minutes, so he stayed out there longer this quarter.
He's working very hard. He's having a pretty good game too. So Doty.
So this will hurt Sydney if he kicks it, because they've had the ball in their forward 50 quite a lot.
Well, he's kicked the 1 goal too so far, so you'd have to expect him to put this through. It's on a pretty reasonable angle, only about 25 metres out he'll kick from. And he does it well. So the Vics back out to an 8-point lead.
The Victorian coaching staff will be very happy with how their teams come out after half time, and Sydney really need to rally now to make sure that it doesn't get out of their control.
There's Dean Anderson busily looking at the board down there, so the Vics just can't quite get those centre clearances, and Max Collett gets it on the left boot looking for Carey. Carey just loses his feet. Good job there from Frangiacomo again. There's plenty of Vics around that ball as the rain starts to fall at Henson Park. Maxi Collett just decides to take it over the boundary and regroup and get some numbers there. And just a light shower passing over the ground, which could end up as torrential rain, we're not sure yet. So Byer back in the ruck. Darling still doing a good job. Good tackle being applied there by Ryan. Manages to wrap up Patterson. Darling again. Ball misses all of them. Watkins manages to gather and breaks through the centre. Good job from Watkins. Looking for Rampy. Good punch coming through there from Robbins. He's been getting well involved in that back line now. He's been doing a fantastic job, Matthew Robbins.
Yeah, playing cross half back, he's set up a lot of attacks for the Victorians.
Providing a lot of spoils. Luff in the ruck contest with Bye. Vic's come away through Serafini.
He's been good all day too.
The kick comes through from Anstey. Finally finds the big fella in Handley. Handley looks long. They have to prop, but that's a strong mark there coming from Peary. Peary looks across ground to Anstey, but the Sydney boys are back there, and that's a good job from Entwistle and Donahue. So Coop runs along looking for a short pass, finds Jajura. Jajura looking for the pinpoint, and Rampy can't quite get the grab. Good work being applied there by Steele once again. Only as far as Jajura again. He takes the man on him. Pass catches him. Done a good job there, Pask. He's applied himself again. Ryan with a little short one to Rogers. It's play on the umpire. Rogers drops it on the right. Cross goal only to the mark of Roach. Roach plays on.
Good pressure.
That's not
Rampy.
good from Roach. Good from Rampy. Finds Vlatko. Vlatko's got a target inside. It's directly out in front and finds Watkins. Watkins may be a little bit unsure of the distance. Looked for a man. Decides
this will
thought
test him,
better
I
of
think.
it. So a bit of a soggy football. He's going to have to kick from 45 out. This will test him. The ex-Waffle player. Tell you what, distance is going to be okay, but he's pushed it across to the right. And that will bring the margin back to 7 points in favour of the VAFA 9660 to Sydney AFL. Not making the most of their opportunities, 7-11-53. The long kick out comes from Robbins. Good contest, Ryan does well, scoops the ball back up to Darling. Darling tries to go back to Ryan, Ryan keeps trying. Left foot from Collett gets smothered, and Serafini is back there again, tries to shovel it forward, can't quite get there. Bottom of the pack there is Patterson. They finally break free, but only as far as Darling, and Darling just drops it on the right foot. There's no one out there to take that contest except for Serafini. So Serafini once again looks for Handley. Handley with the big right boot. Looks for Perry. Perry just gets fingertips and just can't recover their Nordorf. They look back inside and they're going to come out through Entwistle. Entwistle looking for Kalupas. Tough contest. He had to sit under that ball. Good tackle from Kalupas applied there to McGuinness. Ball breaks free.
There's a chance.
Donahue's the man on touch there. Gets around by the big ruckman. He takes a bounce. He could be in trouble. Good handball across to Collett. Collett gets it on the left boot. It hasn't got the direction, but Jajura on the line. Recovers. Rampy almost gets one. Can't quite get rid of the ball. And that will be over for another boundary throw-in.
Well, I thought they had a chance there, Sydney, to score there, but it was good work from the Victorian defence. The rain getting a bit heavier now.
Boundary throw-in. Luff wins the contest, but it only goes to Serafini again. Bucket load of touches.
He's red hot alert on him at the moment.
Hendra. Short kick, but it's not going to find the man. Darling attacks it. Sorry, that's Coop. Coop gets caught with the ball. Can't quite dispossess it. Another good tackle there applied by Skews and Kalupas. They're tackling well, the Blues. That'd be the light Blues. So Luff again doing the ruck work. He's come out of that forward line. Hendra does well. Breaks free. Looks across ground to inside 50. Gather there from Arnold.
Right. Very good work.
They've turned that over. Wright's been pretty good across that half back, and he finds Luff. Luff across ground, finds Vlatko. Vlatko with a short penetrating pass to his teammate. Rogers can't get there. Steele again. Drops it on the right boot, and unfortunately for him, good pressure applied by Rampy. And Steele manages to get that out on the full. So Rampy will have a pretty difficult shot on goal. They've cleared that hot spot. They're going to look for a lead, but there's a few Vics coming back there now.
Well, I've seen Dane Rampy kick 9 one day earlier this year and against the Black Diamond League, and he can kick them from anywhere.
So the left footer brings it back across, but he's brought it back a little bit too far, and it'll be through to another point.
Yeah, the old Brendan Rhodes curse got him there.
We know the curse only too well. I'm pretty good at that too, Phil. Okay, penetrating kick only as far as Collett. Shoveled back through Darling to Luff. Kalupas trying to do his best with Skews. They've been working well together, those two.
They have. They seem to be in the same spot all day.
Tackling again, well done. Comes out through McGuinness. The bouncing ball beats them both. Nordorf the one that's better. Handley there does a good job to try and tackle, but falls off, and Luff will come back and get another touch to add to his quite in his double figures that he's amassed well. So Ryan.
Shane Ryan's had a fair bit of the ball today as well.
Not the best kick there, but Donahue does well. And he gets through the centre of his legs. And that will bring an end to the end of the third quarter. A little bit of a scrappy affair, but good for the VAFA. They've managed to get the lead back and they've held it. And we'll go into this fourth quarter as a 6.1 goal the difference. 9-6-60 to Sydney AFL with the better of the scoring opportunities, 7-12-54.
No lights yet, Dan, as we commence the last quarter, but we may need them by the end. It's starting to get a little bit dark here.
Not sure if they'll warm up in time, Phil.
Maybe not, although the Victorians obviously getting cold. They pulled out the tarp, whether that's because they've got so many injured players, I'm not sure, but they've got the tarp down there on the bench.
Umpire Davison gets us underway in the fourth quarter, the fourth and last, and it should be a great contest. 6 points the margin. The Vics break through the centre. They look for Pask. Pressure being applied, trying to get there is Biggs, can't gather. McGuinness doing his best. Arnold back in there again. Donahue manages to gather, and it's Carey on the break, and he should play on here. Runs his distance, looks inside, and Rampy, fingertips. Backs back onto the left, looking for Luff. Luff tries to find the body behind.
It could have gone too. Great work from Dane Rampy there.
Lovely passage of play there, starting with Donahue to Carey to Rampy playing on, and Luff shows the tried and true old knowledge there and manages to push his man out from underneath him and takes a nice grab behind. He's going to kick from about 15, 20 metres out. He should get this one, Phil.
And he has. It's a great start for Sydney.
So the ball game is even, and we're a minute into this last quarter. Lovely shot there of the comfort of the King George V Memorial Grandstand here at Henson Park. And it's ball game on, back to an even contest between the Sydney AFL and the Vics. Right contest comes out, Nordorf Gazzers can't quite get rid of the ball. Arnold at the bottom of the pack, gets a bump from Nordorf back, and it's paid. And we see Anstey come through, and it's the juggling mark there for Doty. And he's certainly been the target up forward. He's kicked 2 goals too.
He's been unlucky there, Kieran Wright. He's played quite well today, but just couldn't quite get the fist in there.
Doty from Old Scotch in the VAFA. He's kicked 24 in his regular season in Section A. Looking to get the Vics out to a 1-goal lead. He'll kick from 45 out at a 35-degree angle. Lays back, distance is there, and it's looking true. It's a good kick, and Doty adds another one.
So, Dan, we've got a goal fest on our hands. We've struggled all day to see goals, and then we've seen 2 in 2 minutes.
It's the way they can end up these tight contests. So Scanlon tries to get on their left boot. Good tackle there being applied by Entwistle. So it finally comes clear through Collett. Collett back to right. Bounces off the ground. Entwistle and Scanlon across the top. Left boot back inside looking for Handley. But it's Biggs that gets the clearance. It's the high up and under inside, and it should be to the advantage of his teammate, Imperi.
Yeah, just too much room there. Perry really, the ball was in the air for years, and there's no way he should have been that far by himself.
Well, he's going to go back and take this. He's gone back probably about 40 metres on the mark. So Perry, he's kicked 1 today. can get the margin out to 2 goals for the Vics and really put this game back onto the Sydney AFL. It's a good-looking kick, and they're all happy, and he pumps the air. Perry with his second for the day.
The Victorian coaches yelling out to their forwards to keep the pressure on. But Sydney really need to get it out of the middle and score, get a goal back here.
Darling gets the touch, but only the advantage of the Vics in Hendra. Free kick's been called. It's going to go the way of the to Kalupas. Kalupas looking wide to Skews. Skews just juggles. Ball's getting very slippery. It's the underhand ball to Watkins. Watkins almost gets hit high, but it's called no. Left foot from Kalupas. Up and under, only going to go to Heater. Heater coughs it up. And ball bounces through for a behind. So it's going to get incredibly scrappy here, I'd say, with this rain falling now. It's consistent. It's not heavy enough to create problems. So recovery there through Frangiacomo. Good smother there applied by Rampy. Little kick from Jajura finds Vlatko.
Yeah, great work from Dane Rampy there.
So Vlatko from the East Coast Eagles will get an opportunity to get the game back to within a goal for Sydney AFL. I dare say they want to get one on the board and get it on quick, just to stem that scoreboard pressure that's just starting to be applied by the Vics.
On a dry day, Vlatko would kick this 9 times out of 10. I'm not sure about today, though.
He leans back, it's drifting across, it's straightened up, and that's another for the Sydney AFL.
The crowd have come to life after that goal. The car horns were going left, right and centre.
We love the car horns getting active at Henson Park. The Ruckman go at it again. The game starts to lift in tempo. Well and truly on the line as Skews gets the break. Looks inside for Rogers, but it's Steele. He's done a good job. Sorry, that was on. Wasn't Rogers, it was actually Egan there leading. So Brown looking to do his best for the Vics. Shovels it back to Scanlon. Scanlon props and just kicks one forward, looking for Handley. Handley does a good job there to push Coop off. Handley looks long to the hot spot, and Perry. Tap there comes from right, just can't quite. Hendra looks again on the left foot. Tough contest here, but Wright does a great job. 2-on-1 situation. Ball goes over for a point, and it's back out to a one straight goal.
Good work there from Hendra. The ball was coming in and he just put himself in a great spot front and centre. He got the ball, just didn't quite finish it off.
So it's the pack versus.
It's worked well all day actually.
Floats across. They do a good job there to shepherd out and make sure Darling there gets the option. So right there, just having a look, but looked a little bit too much there. Turns the ball over the Sydney side to Robbins. Robbins inside 50, looking for Perry. Donahue just gets caught with his handball. Perry, a great job there to manage to smother that and pushes it over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Sydney really need to work hard here and make sure they don't give another goal away.
They'll be looking to get this back over and out of here as quickly as they can. VAFA, and Donahue makes the break. Luffy in a 2-on-1 just gets a little bit of a tap. The feet collected each other. Probably a little bit lucky just getting the free kick there, Luff. Having to do a good slide on the AstroTurf. Pressure applied there by Roach.
Good block from Watkins again.
And Collett clears. Push in the back there has been given. And I think that is Alex Lee. So Alex Lee, Sydney Uni.
Knows how to kick a goal.
He kicked a good one earlier, can kick it a fair trip as well. Looks like he's going to go back and try for the long one. He's going to have to kick from outside 50. Drops it on the boot. Don't think he's going to get the distance, and it's Heater at the front of the mark. Front of the contest, and he manages to take it. And I think that's ended up, actually, they've gone back over the line with that handball. Heater delivered it back. And the goal umpire says that's crossed the line, and that'll be a point. A rush behind for the Sydney AFL. So a quick play through, finds Heater. Heater across to Frangiacomo, Scanlon. Finds Biggs. Biggs plays on. It's a 2-on-1 contest, doing it tough there for Doherty. Hendra does well, gets in there, but that's a good tackle being applied, and he's wrapped the man up there.
Kalupas, you don't walk away from those tackles.
Just for a change, Kalupas at the bottom of that pack. He must be in double figures for tackles. He's done a fantastic job with his on-ball presence. Darling gets a tap. Carey tries to clear through. Collett doing a good job, but just can't quite gather the football. Scanlon back there. The over-the-top handball only to the advantage of Kalupas has just coughed that up there from the pressure. Entwistle tries, skews in there now. Brand standing over the top, and some good work being applied there by McGuinness. Entwistle comes up grabbing the noggin.
Yeah, cupped the knee, I think.
Big punch there over the top, second man in for Scanlon. This could be coming to the advantage. Arnold with the ball on the left foot. He's kicked truly! So Justin Arnold kicks his second for the day to get the VAFA out to an 11-point margin. Pressure really being applied here to the Sydney AFL. They're going to need to return favour very quickly, but the breakaway comes to the advantage of the Vics again, and it's Arnold again on the left foot. Looking inside, Richardson does a good job. The little left footer comes out!
What a great goal.
And Patterson puts one on the board, and that's 17 points, and it could be putting the pressure too much back onto the Sydney AFL.
And big boy, the ruckman, comes in to give Heater a well-earned rest.
Well, Sydney AFL really with their backs up against it now. It's 12 minutes into this third quarter. They'd need to kick another 3 goals and keep the VAFA scoreless. The handball comes out through Anstey. Just over the top there of McGuinness, but he runs on. And it looks like the player at the back might have been Arnold again. Has just been legged. Arnold been called to play on. Goes to the long to the hot spot, but it's Wright that's in front position. Well done, Coop there holding the man out. Kalupas on the far pocket. Finding room, takes a tap on the ground, runs his distance. Rampy tries to spoil, does well, but there's too many Vics there in opposition. Good contest there. Once again, Anstey getting involved. So Ryan shovels back to Luff. Luff with a little short one, fires Alex Lee. Looking a bit tired here at the moment, Sydney AFL. Not a huge amount of movement. So they go long. Serafino in the back with a big punch over the top of Ryan. By Darling been doing pretty much all the ruck duties in this last quarter. Serafina caught a bit high. Jajura's not happy. And here it goes.
There's a bit of passion in the game for the first time all day.
I think that is Arnold there on top of Jajura. So the Vics break free. I think that's Pask. Pask puts the big up and under into a contest. Coop comes through, but it's touch, play on. Thought he might have done enough there.
Got a free kick too high.
Got the free kick there. Coop will come back. Vic's certainly getting back now in numbers.
Yeah, they've got a sniff.
And that's just a poor kick from Coop. I think it might be Biggs. Sorry, it's Brown. Brown gets caught and they get away with it, Sydney AFL. Collett to Richardson.
There's still plenty of time left in the game, so Sydney don't need to panic. They just need to be composed and make sure they use the ball well.
A short target finds Donahue, and they've called for 50 over the mark. Scanlon in that case. So I don't think it's even Donahue. I think that might be Mark Egan. So Egan with the right foot. Need a contest out of this, and Goodall.
He's paid a push in the back.
At the bottom there, I think it might have been Luffy that put the big mitts into the back. They've gone across and they've found Doty. So Doty gets a lead from Brown. Decides not, he's still on. Goes over the head of Brown to a contest with Handley. Hendra in there as well, battling hard. Ball makes its way out to the big fella in Bye. Bye just decides to take that one over the boundary line. Regather the troops. We'll see another throw in. Bye gets the short one. No one there except for Sydney AFL and Entwistle. Entwistle, no talk, gets caught. Holding the ball. Scanlon, good job there. We'll go back and take the free kick. 17 points the margin. 16 minutes into this last quarter. Sydney with everything to play for, and Cook tries his best, and it has been paid across the back there. Strong mark from Coop. Vice captain, he's played a good game today. Little short one finds Carey. Carey finds Egan. Egan looking for Luff. Luff flies. Can't quite keep that one in. Ryan front and centre. Goes for the long bomb. They're going to try and shepherd this through. No, hands on the footy there from Sydney. And through for a point. And that was Vlatko that just got a touch on the line there. Mark in the far pocket. Vicks try to regroup, pushing it along the boundary line. Scanlon flies again. Roach in behind, gathers the football off the ground. Comes back to Serafini. He's had a good game today, but he's been caught almost. That's a high shot there, I think, that just got McGuinness. Brown. Call from the coaches. The coaches on the sideline is just keep control of the ball. I know if they can do that, they should be over the line. Under 10 minutes to go here.
Pascal's all by himself on the forward line, so they can get it to him.
Peter Serafini again through the middle and finds that man that Phil alluded to in Pask. And Pask is going to go back here, and he's going to have a shot from about just outside of 50. Settle things down and waste a little bit of time for the Ammos.
And if you can get this one, I think that will definitely close the door on Sydney.
Yeah, you'd have to say. I think they've shown themselves done pretty well today, Sydney, so far.
And they've still had more shots on goal, scoring shots on goal than the VAFA, and just haven't been able to get the big goals.
So pass from 51, lays in the big bomb. He's not going to get the distance. The big fly from behind. Entwistle decides to play on. Out to the far wing to Ryan, but it's only as good as McGuinness. McGuinness is going to run in and have a shot on goal. Can't bring it back, and it is rushed over for a behind via Entwistle.
17 points. 17 minutes gone in the last quarter. They really need to just play direct football, Sydney.
Donahue plays on, just goes straight up the centre, and it's going to go straight down Darling's throat. No contest there from the Vicks. Got players peeling off. A little bit of urgency now starting to come from the Sydney AFL, but it's all Vicks down there. Jajuru does a good job to make a contest of it. And Luff finds the footy inside 50, looking for the smaller man in Goodall. But he's going to do it tough against Steele.
Jajuru is giving Troy Luff an absolute mouthful for not handballing there.
Scanlon, short pass along the boundary, finds Frangiacomo. Continue to play this boundary, and the punch comes through from Darling.
I think if you look at the best players, most of the best players are going to come from defenders. I think both sides' defence have done really well.
The on-ballers have shown themselves some good talent today as well. It's been a good contest in and around the ball. Both teams have fought hard. Back on the ground again there through Entwistle. Luff gets caught by Hendra. The break comes through Patterson. Patterson with to Pask. He can't quite take that one. Ball comes through right. And strong grab over the back from Luff. Luff plays on quickly, looking for Nordorf. Nordorf looking for Lee. I've mixed them up again. That's going to be sorry, it is Lee. So the run through the centre from Nordorf. Richardson's run hard to get up to that spot. Short one, Jajura. Goes the big torp. Doesn't come off quite that well, and Steele's done another fantastic job there, taking a strong mark for the Vicks. So switches things up, it's dangerous, but he gets over the top of Latko and finds Anstey. Anstey looks long, finds Patterson. Back inside, through the corridor, only going to go as far as Luff. And he cuts that off in the position he's made a name for himself across centre half back. So right to Collett. Collett looks for the lead from Coop.
Nice kick.
Sorry, Darling. So Darling, good delivery there coming from Collett. Hits his teammate. And Darling will go back to try and get the margin back to just under 2 goals. And maybe, just maybe, gives the Sydney AFL a sniff. So Darling hasn't kicked any today, and I think he's just scraped that through. Darling kicks his first for the day, and the margin's back to 11.
So about 22 minutes gone, and Sydney have got a small hope now.
Darling just gets a contact, but back to Heater. Jajura finds the footy. Precision pass through the centre. Fingertips there, picks up Lee. They need this one, and they need it quick. Rogers, but...
He's played very well for Giacomo all day on Ben Rogers.
He's done extremely well, and he runs it, breaks it for them. Comes back looking for Biggs, but Donahue to the better of that. Finds Carey. Carey goes long, but once again, Steele. I'll tell you what, he has been the man of steel across that backline for them today. He's been an absolute standout.
Yeah, hard as they come, Dan, hard as they come.
Being called to play on. To go along to the ruckman and Heater. Punch from the back from Luff. Front and centre, Serafini gets caught. Good tackle there from Ryan. Ball back in, Luff tries again. Short play to Vlatko. Vlatko on 50, the distance is going to be too far. He's going to look across front. It's Darling that's trying to get there in time. He can't make it. Steps back inside. Got Vlatko again. And he's going to find him.
And this is within John Vlatko's distance. Big ruckman Darling did very well there.
He's had an absolute stellar game. He's tried hard. He hasn't had the height or the body presence to match it with Heater. But they've pretty well played off Heater, the Sydney AFL on ballers. And he's done a good job to gather a lot of ball. So Vlatko to give him a sniff. It's coming back!
We're back in at Sydney AFL, big chance. So 24 minutes gone, 5 points of difference. Great goal there from John Vlatko. But Sydney are right back in this now. We've got the close one, Dan.
Minutes to go. The ruckman go at it again. Jajura makes the win. Gets the big kick out, looking for Vlatko. Can't quite get there. Vlatko trying to break free. Gets the ball out. Shovel comes out from Serafino. He taps it, kicks it towards the sideline. Biggs there with a handball over. He's managed to court. Rogers is free. Cross centre half forward to Darling. Darling does it. He plays on. It's the up and under, looking for the hope.
Rampy, can he mark?
Oh, Corin. Good job there. 2-on-1 situation. Darling probably needed to just go back and try and spot someone up rather than just spraying it forward. Corin shows it to Rampy. Big long kick looking for Heater, and Heater takes a strong mark there. That might be exactly what they need.
They just need to hold on to it now, Victoria. They don't need to do anything silly.
Sydney need to get back and man up. It's not what they wanted from the big fella, but Brown's good enough. Goes for the line, but it's only as far as Luff.
Not a good kick there from Brown.
Okay, so there could be a one last opportunity here for the Sydney AFL side. They work it through the centre, the hands coming through, back to Luff. We have Donahue. Donahue looks wide, trying to find Lee. And he finds him in Egan, sorry. Egan, the short pass for Richardson. They've worked hard as the siren sounds. And the
He's going to have a shot. He's going to have a shot.
Okay.
This will be Malcolm Blight-like style if you can get this torpedo
I think it
through.
might be further than Blight, Phil.
Oh, I thought Malcolm Blight's was from 100 metres out, the way the years have gone by.
Every year it gets further and further.
And I think that Sydney should have called for a count because the Victorians went on the ground then. Get it any way you can.
So Richardson with the captain torp, it's not going to happen. And the Victorians get across the line in a sensational game of football. Wonderful representation for these two sides. A scrappy affair, but some good, talented pieces of play, and I think what can only be said as a sensational effort by the Sydney AFL. The underdogs well and truly today, and they've really managed to show themselves against the VAFA. How'd you see it, Big Philby?
Yeah, I thought, look, it went in ebbs and flows, but obviously the exciting finish makes it end up being a great game, but I thought both sides took a while to settle, and then they really put on a game of football, and we thought the VFA had it won and under control, and Sydney showed a lot of spirit to fight back and almost snatch victory. So all in all, a really good day for both sides.
There's probably also some opportunities there for Sydney AFL. They had the more of the scoring shots. It's 21 scoring shots of the VFA and 26 to the Sydney AFL. So there was definitely some opportunities there. But look, it was a great job by both teams. I think they can both hold their heads high, and we love to see it. We love to see the representative sides, and I think this was just another resounding result for both of these sides. So it was well done, and we'll have a look at the quarter by quarters with Phil. Yep.
So at the start of the game, with both sides feeling each other out, the VFA went to an early lead, 4-3-27 to 3-2-20. At half-time, Sydney were really good in the second quarter and probably could have been a little bit further in front, but it was 7-8-50 to 6-4-40, so 10 minutes at the main break. And then at three-quarter time, we had the Sydney AFL 7-12-54 to the VFA 9-6-60. They really showed their class in that third quarter, and that's where they set up the game, the Victorians. And then finally, the last quarter, we had Sydney 11-15-81 going down eventually to the VAFA 13-8-86, and what ended up being a very good last quarter of football.
Now we'll go and have a look at the score kickers, the goal kickers. So first of all, for the Sydney AFL, Troy Luff kicked 3. Matt Carey kicked 2, John Vlatko with 2, and singles for Bartlett, Lee, Rampy and Skews. Across the other side for the victors in the VAFA, Doherty kicks 3, Patterson with 2, Prairie with 2, Arnold with 2, and singles for Hendra, Biggs, Pask and McGuinness. So on behalf of myself and Phil Bester, it is a fond farewell on a wonderful occasion here with the VAFA getting across the line on the Sydney AFL Match of the Week, and we'll see you next time.